You need to watch this if you struggle with moving to a new place. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this.
I hated the new house. It was old, creepy, and smelled like dust and forgotten memories. My family had just moved in, and I already missed our bright, sunny apartment in the city. This house was huge, with dark hallways and cobweb-filled corners. Every creak of the floorboards sent shivers down my spine. The windows were tall and narrow, letting in slivers of light that only seemed to emphasize the gloom. The air felt heavy, like a blanket I couldn't throw off. I wandered through the empty rooms, my footsteps echoing in the silence. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched.
The backyard was overgrown with weeds and tangled vines. A rusty swing set creaked in the wind, a lonely reminder of children who once played there. Lydia imagined their laughter, now replaced by the unsettling quiet of the abandoned house. She wished she could go back to the city, back to her friends, back to a place that didn't feel so haunted.
Exploring the dusty basement, I stumbled upon a hidden compartment behind a loose brick. The air was thick with dust, and the dim light barely illuminated the space. Inside, I found a small, leather-bound diary. It looked ancient, as if it had been untouched for decades. Its pages were yellowed and brittle, filled with faded ink. The handwriting was delicate, yet hurried, as if the writer was in a rush to document something important. The diary belonged to a boy named Thomas, who had lived in the house many years ago. His entries painted a vivid picture of his life and the eerie events he experienced. He wrote about strange occurrences, shadows moving in the corners of his eyes and whispers in the dark. These weren't just figments of his imagination, they were real to him. Thomas described a growing fear, a feeling of being watched, of something sinister lurking in the house. His fear was palpable, almost jumping off the pages. He called it the Dark Angel. This entity seemed to haunt his every step, growing more menacing with each passing day. I shivered, a chill running down my spine. The more I read, the more I felt Thomas's fear seeping into me. I couldn't shake the feeling that Thomas's words were more than just stories. They felt like warnings, echoing through time to reach me.
The Dark Angel is growing stronger. Its presence is becoming more tangible, more real. I see it in the shadows, a fleeting glimpse of something dark and terrible. It's as if the diary has awakened something. I have to stop it. I can't let this malevolent force continue to grow. I have to close the portal it uses to enter our world. This is the only way to protect us from its wrath. There are symbols, a ritual, a way to banish the creature back to the darkness from whence it came. The instructions were detailed, yet cryptic.
As I read further, Thomas's entries became more frantic. His desperation was evident in his hurried handwriting. He wrote about the Dark Angel growing stronger, its presence becoming more tangible. It was no longer just a shadow, it was a looming threat. He described seeing it in the shadows, a fleeting glimpse of something dark and terrible. It was as if the entity was toying with him. I felt a knot forming in my stomach. The fear was almost overwhelming, but I knew I had to press on. I had to find out what happened to Thomas. His fate was intertwined with the Dark Angel, and perhaps with mine as well. The last entry in the diary was chilling. It spoke of a final confrontation, a desperate attempt to end the terror. Thomas wrote about a plan to stop the Dark Angel, to close the portal it used to enter their world. His words were a mix of hope and despair. He mentioned symbols, a ritual, a way to banish the creature back to the darkness from whence it came. These symbols were the key. I knew I had to find those symbols. They were the only way to finish what Thomas had started. I had to finish what Thomas started. The fate of our world depended on it. That night, I couldn't sleep. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows. The old house creaked and groaned around me. I kept hearing whispers, faint murmurs that seemed to come from the walls themselves. I pulled the covers tighter, trying to block out the sounds, but they seemed to grow louder. I got out of bed, my heart pounding in my chest. I crept down the hallway, drawn to the basement where I had found the diary. The air grew colder as I descended the stairs. The darkness seemed to press in on me, suffocating me. I could feel the presence of something else in the house with me.
A shadow flickered in the corner of her eye. She spun around, but there was nothing there. Just the darkness and the whispers. She told herself it was just her imagination, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. She was being hunted.
The whispers intensified, becoming clearer. They sounded like Thomas's name, being called from the darkness. I backed away, my breath catching in my throat. I had to get out of there. I turned and ran, my footsteps echoing in the empty hallway.
The next day, strange things started happening. Objects moved on their own. Doors slammed shut. Shadows danced in the corners of Lydia's eyes, always just out of reach.
Mom, Dad, I swear I saw something move.
Lydia, it's just your imagination. You're still adjusting to the new house.
Your mother is right, sweetheart. It's just a way of coping with the move.
They didn't believe her, but Lydia knew she was right. She could feel the Dark Angel's presence growing stronger, its influence spreading through the house.
I have to do something before it's too late.
She returned to the basement, clutching Thomas's diary in her hand. She reread Thomas's last entry, searching for clues. He had mentioned symbols, a ritual to close the portal. He had drawn some of the symbols in the margins of the diary. They were strange, otherworldly markings that seemed to pulse with a dark energy. Lydia traced them with her finger, a shiver running down her spine. The air in the basement grew heavy, the darkness pressing in on her.
I can feel it. The Dark Angel is closer than ever before.
She knew she had to act fast. She had to find the portal and close it before the creature claimed her soul, just as it had claimed Thomas's. One evening, as Lydia sat in her room reading Thomas's diary, the temperature in the room plummeted. The air grew thick and cold, and a chilling presence filled the space. Shadows danced on the walls, swirling and twisting into grotesque shapes. Lydia knew, with a terrifying certainty, that the Dark Angel was here.
No, it's here.
A dark figure materialized in the corner of the room. It was tall and gaunt, with shadowy wings that seemed to absorb the light. Its eyes glowed with an eerie red light, burning into Lydia's soul. She tried to scream, but no sound escaped her lips. She was paralyzed with fear.
Your soul is mine.
The Dark Angel floated towards her, its icy breath washing over her face. She could feel its malevolent energy, its hunger for her soul. She closed her eyes, bracing for the inevitable. But then she remembered the diary. She remembered Thomas's words, his plan to banish the creature. With a surge of adrenaline, Lydia opened her eyes. She clutched the diary to her chest, her fingers tracing the symbols Thomas had drawn. She began to chant the words he had written, her voice trembling at first but growing stronger with each syllable. The symbols on the page began to glow, emitting a warm golden light that pushed back the darkness. As Lydia chanted, the Dark Angel recoiled, its shadowy form flickering and distorting, as if the very words she spoke were tearing at its essence. It hissed in anger, its red eyes burning with an intense, unquenchable hatred, a hatred that seemed to pierce through the very fabric of reality.
The house, it's not just haunted, it's something far worse. It's a gateway to another dimension, a dark and twisted realm beyond our understanding.
Lydia realized the terrifying truth about the house. It wasn't just haunted by restless spirits. It was a conduit, a gateway between the living world and some other, darker dimension, a place where nightmares were born. And the Dark Angel was its guardian, a sentinel of the shadows, ensuring no one could close the portal. The house fed on souls, drawing them into the darkness to sustain itself, growing stronger with each life it consumed. Thomas had been one of its victims, and Lydia knew she was next if she didn't act quickly. She had to close the portal, sever the connection between the worlds, before it was too late and more lives were lost.
I have to close the portal. I have to stop this madness before it consumes everything.
The symbols in the diary pulsed with energy, growing brighter with each word Lydia spoke, as if responding to her determination. The room filled with a golden light, pushing back the shadows and forcing the Dark Angel to retreat, its power waning. Lydia could feel the power of the symbols flowing through her, giving her strength and resolve she never knew she had. She knew she was close to succeeding, the portal's grip on the house weakening with every chant. She could feel the portal weakening, its dark grip on the house loosening, the malevolent energy dissipating. But the Dark Angel wasn't giving up without a fight. It lunged at her, its claws extended, its red eyes blazing with fury and desperation. It lunged at her, its claws extended, its red eyes blazing with fury, determined to stop her at any cost.
No, I won't let you. I will end this.
Lydia dodged its attack, continuing to chant, her voice ringing with power and defiance, determined to see this through to the end. Lydia focused intently on the symbols in the diary, her brow furrowed in concentration. She was trying to decipher their meaning, to unlock the secrets they held. These symbols seemed to be a language of their own, a language of power and ancient magic.
These symbols, they're more than just drawings. They're a key, a map to something greater.
She realized that Thomas hadn't just written about the symbols, he had woven them into the very fabric of the diary, embedding them with purpose. They weren't just drawings, they were a key to unlocking a hidden truth. She traced the symbols with her finger, feeling their energy pulsing beneath her touch, almost as if they were alive. She closed her eyes, trying to connect with their power, to understand their deeper meaning.
Lydia, you have to find the portal. It's the only way to stop the Dark Angel. It's the only way to stop the Dark Angel from unleashing chaos.
She saw visions of Thomas, of his struggle against the Dark Angel, of his desperate attempt to close the portal and protect their world. She saw the portal itself, a swirling vortex of darkness hidden deep within the house, a gateway to another realm. She saw the Dark Angel guarding it, its shadowy form flickering in the darkness, a menacing presence. She knew that she had to find the portal, and she had to use the symbols to close it, to seal it forever.
I know what I have to do. I have to find the hidden room, the heart of the house. I have to find the hidden room, the heart of the house where the portal lies.
With renewed determination, Lydia opened her eyes, her path now clear. She knew what she had to do. She had to find the hidden room, the heart of the house where the portal resided. She had to find the hidden room, the heart of the house where the portal resided. She followed her instincts, guided by the energy of the symbols, deeper into the house's mysteries, ready to face whatever lay ahead.